It's Friday night, everybody. You know what that means. It's Friday night. Let's have some fun. Let's get together and play a ton.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm John.
And we're
Friday Night Games.
We want to immerse you into our love of the hobby by educating and entertaining you through our board gaming adventures. Our podcast lands every Friday, and we create content for Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
This episode is sponsored by TabletopRenaissance.ca, located in our hometown of Windsor, Ontario, Canada. They have their amazing web store up, so check out TabletopRenaissance.ca for your board gaming and tabletop miniature needs.
On today's show, we're going to repeat a topic we've done before.
Whoop, whoop.
Co-op games.
So, why are we repeating it, Matt?
On today's show, we're going to repeat a topic we've done before. Co-op games. Is this going to get annoying or what?
It's like we traveled through time.
Yeah, why are we talking about co-op games, John?
Well, the lovely Pandasaurus Games sent us a copy of their game, The Loop.
Nice.
So, makes sense to repeat ourselves a bunch of times in this topic. On that note, we'll talk about The Loop and some other co-op games that we've been playing for the past year or so.
We're first going to review The Loop, published by Pandasaurus, and give our thoughts and how our experience was playing it.
Yeah, afterwards, we will discuss what makes a good co-op game and see if The Loop fits that criteria.
We might give some tips on how to make a good co-op game better, or how to annoy John.
Yeah, I'm pretty easygoing.
How to annoy Novi. I don't know. How to annoy your friends. How to annoy my mom. There's a lot of things we can annoy here. All right. Well, first of all, it's great to see you again, although we're in different locations, but yeah. Wow, I don't know what the...
We missed game night last week. We're all thrown off.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Matt can't go to the bathroom at his house or something. I don't know.
Yeah, basically. It's fine, though. I mean, you just go in the great outdoors and everything's cool. My neighbors just kind of stare at me like I'm a little crazy, but whatever. Like,
Does your neighbor still have that duck?
Sorry?
Does your neighbor still have that duck?
I mean, I have a bunch of... I mean, no. No, they don't. So what are we talking about today, John? What's going on here?
Man, we are talking about The Loop by Pandasaurus Games, which was designed by Maxime Romberg, Theo Riviere, art by Simon Caruso, published by Catch Up Games, and distributed in the U.S. by Pandasaurus Games.
So first of all, big shout out to Pandasaurus Games for sending us a copy of it to review. We are so grateful. We love Pandasaurus Games. They're killing it, and they're sending us stuff, so we love them. Thank you.
Definitely a great year to be a Pandasaurus fan. I know this is probably like our 5th podcast that features them.
Yeah, true. And I feel like every podcast we say it too, like they're the only ones publishing games right now, but there may not be any games to get come Christmas. But yeah, they're definitely killing it. They have such a great lineup this year, and you know, they did last year too, but I feel like this year's really a really good quality lineup.
Yeah.
All right, so what's The Loop about, John?
Okay, so first off, The Loop is a co-op game for 1 to 4 players. Basically, each player is playing as like a time agent, so they're trying to stop an evil scientist named Dr. Foe, who is going across time and space, making clones of himself and trying to become the master of the universe.
Yeah, so this game plays out on a circular board that's made of like these wedges, and each wedge represents an era of time, fictional or actually real, but I don't know them off the top of my head, so whatever, just take my word for it. To win, you must complete the objectives of a chosen scenario, which is generally win 4 missions, but then each scenario might have a little bit of a twist involved.
Right. Dr. Foe wins if he creates 4 rifts or 2 rifts on the same spot, or you reach the end of the 3rd cycle without completing 4 missions. So 14 turns per cycle for 42 turns.
Yeah, so there's like a cycle deck, and that gets shuffled, and then once it runs out, it then goes to the next cycle, and so basically that turns out being 42 turns. If 42 turns occur and you did not win your 4th mission, plus whatever other objectives, you lose the game.
Yeah.
And then rifts will be explained in a second. So Dr. Foe will drop vortex cubes on the board via this dice tower that rotates in the center. It's kind of pretty neat, put it together. And each turn that will rotate to a different era, and then it has like 3 spouts, so it actually hits 3 eras when you drop the cubes. And then the number of cubes is determined by the number of clones on the main era to which you land. So if 3 vortex cubes gets dropped on an era, then a vortex is created, which removes the mission, removes any artifacts you could have picked up, and you're one step closer to losing the game.
And Dr. Foe will also drop clones on the board that you will get rid of by kind of forcing them into a specific area. This will also determine the number of vortex cubes that are dropped, which Matt just said.
Yeah, and so each player will have a special ability that they must master, which is going to help them win. Also, each player gets their own deck of starting cards, and it actually tells them how many of each symbol cards, which we'll get to in a second, are in that deck.
And during players' turns, they will typically have 3 cards that they can exhaust to do actions. At the end of the turn, these are discarded. Each card also has a symbol at the top left. If a player takes a loop action, they can untap all the cards of the same symbol except for a black hole card and do the action again. And you can do this again if you pay extra energy to do so.
Yeah, and on a player turn, players can use artifacts, move once for free, or use a single energy to move to another space that is adjacent to the space that they are moving, or do a loop move, which was just explained. But I'll just say one thing about the loop move. It gets 1 energy more expensive. So your first loop costs 1, your second loop move costs 2 energy, and so on.
You will start with 2 missions flipped up and flip a random one up once you've completed one.
On a player turn, players will add vortexes and add more artifacts and collect artifacts too.
And then 3 vortex cubes on an arrow can also destroy a mission.
Nice. So, John, what did you like about this game, man?
Okay, so first off, I always compliment the art for games. So that was kind of the first thing that just like really popped. I feel like the art really reminded me of like Cartoon Network cartoons.
Nickelodeon or Much Music?
No, Cartoon Network.
Oh, is that Canadian? Is Cartoon Network Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And like just the box is full of it. And then even like inside the box where they have like the credits for the game, it looks like Dr. Foe's like desk and his notes written all over it. So it's really cool. The artwork's really good. I think the game is like super good because of how difficult it is. We played it together and lost. I played it solo and lost. Everyone I've seen online hasn't won the game yet either. Like,
oh, really?
Dr. Foe was really, really hard to beat, and I think that is kind of cool because it makes me want to go back and just try to beat it.
Oh, I'm going to point out, I actually won a solo game.
Nice.
But it was it was down. I know, but it was down to the wire. Like, it was down to the wire. Like, it was like Dr. Foe one move or me one move, and I just happened to the cards happened to fall into the right place at the exact time I needed it, and
Nice.
that's how I won. Like, it was not easy, which is I really like it. I really like it.
Yeah.
I think because it's hard, it's so appealing. Because most co-op games, I feel like you play them and they're all winnable, right?
Right.
This almost does not even feel winnable. Right.
But that doesn't deter from the game. Like, it makes me want more.
Well, yeah. Actually, it's kind of sad. I actually wanted to play another round, but I think everyone was just kind of tired when we were playing that night.
I like the goofiness of it as well. Like, the theme is just goofy. Like, all the artifact cards, the time agents look ridiculous. Dr. Foe looks ridiculous, and just like, I do like how they go through like different eras of time. So I know you said that you couldn't remember them, but you're like, you're going through like the Industrial Age, the Art Revolution Age, and then
the only one I remember was like the post-apocalyptic age, which is just like a nuclear bomb going off on the board.
Yeah.
Which I think the whole idea was like that was the end of the world.
That was the end, yeah. So it was really cool that it kind of symbolizes like actual hit points of history in time, because eventually we're going to blow ourselves up, I assume. And,
yeah, totally.
I just thought it was fun. I like the cooperative aspect of it, like really trying to plan our moves out with each other so that we can make the best moves. Our game was weird because we lost on like a technicality, I think, with the Rift Cube.
No, I think that's what's supposed to... Okay, hold on. So if there... Well, do we want to get into the bad? Or let's just keep talking about the great of it, because I actually really like this game. I highly recommend it. I thought it was awesome. I understand why it was one of the best games. It's actually a 2020 game that Pandasaurus picked up to release in North America. It's a European game.
Right.
So I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Like I said, you hit the theme, you hit the hardness. I actually like all the abilities too. I think it's kind of neat how you have them in front of you, you exhaust them, and then they perform actions. And generally they're like, each character has a themed action that they're really good at.
Yeah.
Like one of them, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, that your character has like a special ability. Well, your starting deck is going to have all those abilities in it too. So for instance, one of them, I can't remember the name, but I think it was like the assassin. She actually is really good at pushing the clones into the eras to kill them.
Right.
So like if you have that one, then you kind of have to strategize to get more of those cards to do that move. And then that's what lets you remove rifts. So her ability is actually when you kill a clone, you remove a rift or you add an energy cube. So if you're playing it properly, you can kill the clones, get more energy cubes, or remove rifts, right? So that's one of the keys, is to like play off your player ability.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool. I remember Novi had a really good one. He was playing like Mr. Time.
Yeah.
And his ability was able to kind of move us around the board.
Oh, right.
To certain time periods, which like really helped us out.
Setting up our move. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was cool. So we worked together a lot with that. I just think, we lost because we had too many paradoxes.
The
vortexes creating the rifts.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the lead up to that. So it was actually pretty interesting. Like we had a ton of clones on the board, and we were kind of setting ourselves up to win. I think it was like almost the last mission, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had 2 missions on the board. Mm-hmm. And I think we were planning on trying to win this one mission. Mm-hmm. And like we were all like, okay, we can do this all mission if we do this all together. We can get this mission and then work on the other one. Because the missions that we had seemed impossible to do. We had like the hardest ones in the entire game.
Yeah, one mission seemed impossible. I don't remember what it was. It was like kill a clone on every era.
Right.
And it seemed like impossible for us, but maybe we didn't have the right characters for that mission.
Maybe. The one mission, we were like literally just about to finish it, and we're like, okay, well, Matt, if you do this, Novi, you do this, John, you do this, we can get it done.
Right. Oh, yeah, and then we're like, the only thing that can screw us up is if we have...
If the vortex cube causes a rift, and that's exactly what happened. We had 2 go out of the dice tower right onto that era, and clogged up get that
3 rift cubes, which created the
3 rift cubes.
Yeah, man, and that was actually disappointing too, because we were all like, I felt like we're all that's like, yeah, we're gonna do this, but we were all
amped about it.
I know, but we had to play the chance, right? Like we had to take the chance to win, and we just we had to chance it out. We're like, there's no way this is gonna happen, and then it did, and we're just like, wow, really?
Right.
So the one thing I did hate was that dice tower. I was like, is this thing rigged? Like, it just hates me or what? Like, that's what I thought. Oh, yeah, because your ability was to take away, like, if you drop 3 cubes, you could remove one.
Right.
And you were the one dropping the cubes. And there's like, the only way we could lose is if this happens, and it happened.
Yeah.
Right? And we're like, ugh. But,
oh, well. C'est la vie. C'est la vie.
Oh, man, but that's why I wanted to play it. I mean, I got my satisfaction. I beat it by myself, but I wanted to be with you guys because I wanted you to feel that satisfaction, too. But, oh, well, what are you going to do? All right, what didn't you like about it? What didn't you like about it?
Satisfaction. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I disliked much. I think I was like disappointed that we lost.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't think that's something negative about the game. You can't win every game, right? I think it's nice that we can lose together as well. Mm-hmm. There's no like winner of the game except Dr. Foe. There's a lot of like text on the cards. Mm-hmm. I guess so if you're trying to like plan your moves, you got to kind of pay attention to what everyone else has. It can get a little bit overwhelming at times, but I don't think it was that big of a distraction that it hindered my gaming experience.
I think it could be a game where you can have like that controlling gamer kind of take over. Yeah. It didn't happen in our situation because the 3 of us are not like that, but I could see that happening in other games where if someone starts understanding everyone else's cards, they could start telling people what to do. And I don't like that.
Yeah, but I think that, I don't know. I think there's enough on everyone's cards that could maybe stop that. But I see what you're saying.
That is my counter argument. Like, yes, I do agree that because you have your own deck and each card has a set of rules, it's hard for someone to control the game. But I still think like someone could read everyone's cards if they're smart enough, and then start telling people what to do. Mm-hmm. Which leads me to the next point, which I actually agree with you on. The cards do have a million things to do, and I'm pretty sure that it's easy to not understand your cards. And I'm pretty sure Novi didn't understand one of his cards at one point. I mean,
probably
we cleared it up with him. I'm pretty sure we cleared it up at one point. I can't remember what the issue was, but yeah, it was just like whenever you have a game with a million things, it's always very easy to misinterpret something.
Right.
And then the other thing that was bad, I don't think it's bad. You mentioned it. We lost, right? But whatever.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the loop is just like a fun cooperative game. And you can laugh while you're playing. You can talk. It's just a good time. Yeah. And it gets like that that edginess of frustration because you just want to beat the game. And
the game doesn't take itself seriously, right? So like either you shouldn't take it seriously too, which I really like that sort of thing where it's like it isn't like forcing you into like a tension where you can't get out of. It's like, no, it's humorous. Right.
Right.
Dr. Foe won. Whatever. Dr. Foe deserves it.
There you go. So the Loop by Pandasaurus Games releases August 25th, 2021, and you can pre-order it now, and you get some sweet sticker sets with your pre-orders. Check it out on Pandasaurus Games website.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it if you're looking for a great co-op game. It's one of the best of 2020, so it's obviously going to be one of the best of 2021.
Yep.
And I don't recommend it for people who hate reading a million rules on every card. So that's my recommendation. But basically, that small subset of you, everyone else should play it. You must play it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So speaking of co-op games, since we like repeating ourselves.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Hey, yeah.
Now you got my attention here. You know what we should do? We should just
What?
This whole podcast should just be like we just clip things together from other podcasts.
There you go.
Call it a day.
Good luck, Kevin. So what games have we played that were co-op this year, Matt? I don't even remember. I don't remember playing anything.
You know what? I think we played a lot, but these are the ones that came to mind when I was writing the notes. Okay, so I played New Age myself, but you played Aeon's End Outcast with me and Novi and Grabka. So that was one.
Right.
The other one that comes to mind right away, because I think it's one of the best games of 2021, is Micro Macro Crime City.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is obviously The Loop. We just talked about it a minute ago.
Yeah.
Marvel Champions. And we didn't end up getting to play it, but we played it several times last year. Mind Management.
Right.
Right. So I guess maybe we should talk a little bit about each. So I'll do Aeon's End. Aeon's End is a deck building game where you're basically fighting epic boss battles with other mages, and it can be very complex, and it is really hard, and it is not very forgiving.
Right. Micro Macro Crime City is kind of an adult version of Where's Waldo. You're looking at a giant city map trying to unlock clues to solve the crimes of the city using these deck of cards that come in the game. So it's very easy to set up and play and really fun.
Marvel Champions is a living card game. Everyone makes a pre-made deck, and you fight a scenario. It's similar to Arkham Horror, and if you have no idea what that means, you basically have a card where you fight a giant boss who has hit points and has different phases, which will change phases as you defeat each boss, and then you could also lose by threat. So the boss might build up enough threat that kills you.
Nice. And Mind Management is a hidden movement game where one player is playing as a recruiter trying to move around a map, recruiting characters based off of some cards they draw. But the other players that are playing are working together to try to stop the agent before it's too late. So they're asking each other questions, trying to figure out where the agent has been on this map, and kind of using deduction to figure that out.
And finally, The Loop we just talked about, but I guess going with the theme, I will talk about it again. So basically, you're a bunch of co-op people. You each have decks, and you're trying to stop Dr. Foe by killing his clones and completing 4 missions before Dr. Foe creates 4 vortexes.
Cool. So what makes a good co-op game, Matt?
Oh, man, I don't know. I think hard to win. I think hard to win is something that's going to make a good co-op game. In fact, you know what? Just don't let us win. Make the game impossible. Make the players actually have to figure out that you can't win the game. I think that's what will make it really good.
And then it just flips the table at the end of it.
What about you, John? What makes a good co-op game to you?
I like games that are fun, that you're going to make you want to play it. But I like games that have a little bit of complexity to them. So whether they're fun or hard, but like thinky, right? Like you want to just make sure you're making the right decisions in the game.
Oh, yeah. Like everyone loves rules, right? So then like maybe the game should just get like more and more complex as you play it. Like as you play it, they just keep adding a rule like every turn until you have no idea.
Yeah, that could work.
No idea what you're playing. Yeah, I think the game shouldn't allow for players to be controlling, you know, because you know what, I just love sitting there and being told what to do. Like nothing says playing a game like just not playing the game, right?
Right.
Like we should just sit there and like people do, you know what I mean? Like John, next time we play a game co-op together, I just want you to tell me what to do. I'm not even gonna play.
Okay. You're gonna just put your piece there and your hand here.
I just put my hand on your side of the table. Like you just start playing. You're like, hey, hold that card up.
Yeah.
You're like, move that closer because you always say you have bad vision. So I'm just always holding the cards in front of you. I'm like a stand. I like it.
There you go. Players should obviously interact with each other. I mean, you can't have a co-op game without actually talking to each other, right?
Yeah, nothing says, an exciting game like not talking.
Right.
Right? Like it's so exciting, you don't say anything. I think that makes a lot of sense.
You have to actually, like in mind management, you just use your mind.
Yeah, and then you
just
like
sit
get
in silence
really upset.
and ESP it.
You just get you should like get really upset when someone doesn't do what you do. Imagine that.
Was it you in grade school that did like a project on ESP?
Yes.
A science project on ESP, and then you had me go up in front of the class, and I had to like flick a switch or something, and you were telling me things with your mind.
Yes. Did you do? I think we cheated, didn't we? Did we like?
Probably.
I think we like. I think I told you what to flick in order on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we were that clever. Although I really thank my dad for that because I wasn't very handy. He actually did a lot of the like I helped him, but he did a lot of the electrical work on that contraption.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't get electrocuted, so that's good.
Yeah, well, the other assistant no longer exists, so it's always that.
All right. Is there anything that we can do to make co-op games better? Have a better experience.
This is like a deep thinking thing. You know what? Don't show your hand to each other.
Yeah.
In fact, don't even talk. You just don't do anything. Don't even play the game. Just like whatever. Just sit and stare at each other in the eyes and see if you can like make like this like intense moment with each other,
There you go. Just try not to make out. I mean, obviously you do not want to play with controlling friends. In fact, maybe you should play with controlling friends. Just like
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just like make the dumbest moves to annoy them.
Oh, that's a great idea. Like next time, and we do have some controlling people in our group who like to tell people what to do. I think next time if someone tells me what to do, I should just do like the complete opposite. Like just hide my hand, don't do anything that they say, right? Oh, I'm just gonna lead to like a fist fight, aren't I?
Probably.
No one's gonna want to come back to my house after that. I don't think.
We got a lot of games to play.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that one. I think the last tip that would make a lot of sense too is to make that controlling friend like manage the game.
Okay.
Right? Like and then like once because I think if you just kind of keep them occupied, there's no way that they're gonna like try and play everyone's hand, right? So like if they understand the game really well, you're like, okay, you're gonna manage the computer or opponent or whatever, and then like maybe just like it's too bad like the game needs to keep throwing mechanics at it, like oh yeah, hey, you just understood, okay, that's great, we still don't want you touching our hands, so here's another mechanic I didn't tell you about, now you have to learn it. And then once they get all the game rules down, you're like, oh, here's an expansion, go learn the expansion, just keep them keep them busy, like just keep them so busy they don't want to play with you, or they don't want to like play your hand. But on a serious note, yeah, I think like the three main rules if you're playing with someone who's controlling and you want to make that co-op game better: don't show your hand. I said don't play with controlling friends, but I actually feel like put that controlling friend in charge of the opponent. I think that will make the game like infinitely better. Anything I missed, John?
No, I think you nailed it.
Okay, so looking at the games that we did play and looking at like how we defined a good co-op game. So we defined a good co-op game: hard to win, complex, it handles controlling players, and you interact with each other to win. So let's go through the list, right? So Aeon's End, right? Is it hard to win?
I feel like we lost, so yes.
I actually thought it was pretty easy, like going through the campaign.
Okay.
To be honest, so like I went through 2 campaigns, the Legacy game and New Age, and I found it challenging, and I did do a bunch of take backsies. So yeah, maybe it is really hard, but I found that like as you went through and like you got to choose. Basically, there's like this market, and you choose cards. And as you chose the market cards, I kind of like strategized the best strategy for the characters I was playing.
Okay.
So I think that made it easy. But the game that we played, everything was random, so it was really hard.
Right.
Because you're getting random cards being put down. John, do you think Aeon's End was complex?
I feel it's hard to say because we played it online on like Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. So I feel like that adds a layer of complexity that's not really there. It's actually on my list to play tomorrow solo while I'm home. So I'm gonna try it out. So I mean, it's probably complex, just the amount of stuff going on because you have multiple characters doing different things, trying to defeat the bad guy.
I'll give you a little tip. It's going to take you about an hour to 2 hours per scenario, just so you know.
Oh yeah, whatever. All good. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be complex depending on where you are in your board gaming journey.
Okay. Do you think it leads to controlling players?
Yes, because we were playing with one. So
don't talk about me like that. I'm right here.
Yeah. No, I think we were playing with one of the controlling people in our group, and they were kind of
I think
either cheating. I don't know, they were doing something weird.
I think that I'm gonna say that they were really into it, which is good, and the game was complex. And I think that they kind of saw, like, because you saw everyone's hand, you could see the moves, right? There's only so many things you could do, and yeah, I think that is like, it was a bad thing. It definitely was susceptible to that. And so on that note, do you think our tips to make Aeon's End better would work?
I guess so.
So like, do you think not showing your hand would help?
Probably.
Right, and then making them manage the main boss. Do you think that would help too?
See, the only thing I would counter against that would be like if you're not showing your hand, then you have players who get AP, right, and they just don't know what they're doing, and it drags out the gameplay. I don't know. I'm conflicted now.
Maybe if you have someone. Well, yeah, you're right. Maybe if you have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, you tell them, "Hey, show your hand right now," and then everyone helps them make a decision. And then next turn you tell them to hide their hand, right?
I guess, yeah.
Then that would stop. That would help them make a decision at that time, but stop them from feeling like someone else is playing their game for them, right? And then did you have to interact to win?
Well, obviously.
Is it obvious? I mean the game was hard, right? So we had to strategize to win, right?
Yeah, if you're not gonna strategize, if it's co-op, you got to strategize, right? So you should be interacting with each other.
Right. So Aeon's End, every character, some characters have abilities that help other characters, and ours were all set up like that. We didn't win, but we were close to winning at one point because we figured out I help you, my character helps you, you do a lot of damage. Let's see if we could beat him. But we just weren't quick enough on that, which was fine. Cool. So that's Aeon's End. Okay, let's do it again for Micro Macro Crime City. This is gonna be a quick one though. Is Micro Macro hard to win?
No.
Even on hard?
I mean, what's hard? You don't use the cards?
I guess. Oh, you just don't play the game?
I mean, oh, that guy looks dead. Let's see what happened to him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd actually be like expert mode, right? Like
yeah,
instead of using the cards, you have to actually like figure out what is going on. That would be crazy. There you go. I hope they're listening, and I doubt they're listening, but I hope they do because that would be a sweet version of it. I don't think it was complex. What do you think?
Maybe not as the definition of complex in board games, but I feel like what makes it complex is that the map is like black and white and very small, so you can easily kind of get lost in what you're doing. So
right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I actually 100% agree with that. So I don't think it really pertains to controlling players because I feel like when you're doing it, everyone's just kind of like, it's like divide and conquer. Everyone takes a piece of the map and starts looking through it to try and find things, right?
Right.
So I don't think it really is like a controlling player thing.
The only thing I can think of is if someone finds something, they kind of take over that mission, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that kind of happened with us.
Yeah, but we were just playing the two of us though, right? So.
Right, but I took the dog out, and then when I came back, you kind of already had a lot of the knowledge on the board, right?
Right.
I mean, you were very good at it, so I can't really complain there. So maybe that's the thing. If someone's really good at it, it would take away from that experience.
Whereas Waldo knowledge was awesome.
Yeah, apparently you're really good at that back when you were a little kid. I think it had a lot of interaction to win. I feel like you kind of had to, right? Like, talk to each other what you're finding and stuff. So, yeah, it definitely had it.
All right.
Okay, let's do the loop next. So, was it hard to win?
I mean, I haven't won yet.
I think the game is really hard. So yes, it's hard to win. Is it complex?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So you got to kind of pay attention to everything on the board and all the players' cards and stuff like that and hands. So.
Right. So you got the clones on the board. You got the vortex cubes being put on the board. Every character has its own cards and abilities, and then every card has a special ability. So yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I think it's complex. And actually, I think you were right when we talked about it previously on our Slate review just before this, that yes, the cards, it's hard to control the game because everyone kind of has their own cards, right? So I'm not going to be reading everyone's cards.
Exactly.
But you could. What about controlling players? Do you think it's a controlling game? I mean, you just heard what I said.
No, I don't think so. Unless someone's like actively reading the cards. But I think everyone's kind of just making their own strategy in their head as they go. At least that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Based on what your moves were, I was like, okay, well, Matt's doing this, I can do this. I was too busy trying to manage what I was going to do. So yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was busy managing what I was trying to do too. So I agree with that. Which actually leads to the next point. There was a lot of interaction to try and win.
Right. I think that was like one of the biggest strong points of the game.
Yeah, because like at one point, I think near the end, we were all strategizing how to get us to the right spots.
Right.
I guess this isn't a spoiler, but so we were talking about the cycle cards. The cycle cards kind of tell you what zone the vortex cube dice tower in the middle is going to turn to. So in every cycle, it can only be one of the 13 different wedges.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hit 10 wedges, then it can only go to 3 locations, right?
Right.
And that's what made strategy as to be like, oh, where do we have to be to complete this mission, to follow the objectives we need to complete. So it's pretty neat. And of course, no one knows, if you've never played the game, you have no idea what we're talking about. But all the more reason to play the game because it's so good. So there you go.
Right.
And then, we were talking about controlling, so don't show your hand. Well, you're showing your hand because it's all laid down. I don't think that really matters because there's so many different cards on the board. And then have the controlling friend manage the game. I don't think it matters, to be honest.
No.
All right, what about Marvel Champions? Did you find that hard to win?
I've only played it the one time with you, and I feel like it wasn't too difficult to win, but I feel like we played the easiest bad guy.
Yeah, we played the beginning.
I don't know if I'm a good judge of how hard it is or not.
So I played the original game, and I played the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion, and I think the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion is really hard on campaign mode.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was like, honestly, one scenario, I'm like, this is unwinnable. I didn't even believe it was winnable. I'm like, this is so stupid. I was like angry, but a lot of people, we have a shout out to the Bridge City board gamers and Dice and Dragons and Meeple Dungeon and of Dice and Men, and they love that. They all love that game. They all play it. There's one. The only reason why I bought Guardians of the Galaxy is because there was a thread where they're all talking about it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm missing out. I had a lot of FOMO going on.
There you go.
So I bought it, and they were talking about their strategies to beat it. They were saying it was hard too, and I'm like, yeah, I believe it. The game is hard on its own. So yes, it is hard to win, but only as you go. They have the kind of the hook. The hook is, here's an easy scenario. You'll play it. It'll be easy. But then as you go along, it gets harder and harder. So on that note, you probably didn't find it very complex?
The complexity lies for me with the amount of stuff you can do with the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's cards, the heroes cards you can either flip over to be their secret identity or whatever, and that does different things. And I guess it's just the complexity comes in managing your hand.
Right.
And trying to make the best combos, I guess.
Yeah, and I think also the scenarios get harder and harder too. So the bosses get more and more rules. So I think that actually makes the game a lot more fun too.
Mm-hmm.
I know you didn't see that, but I saw it. I thought it was really good. Do you think a player could start controlling your character in that game?
I think so.
I think so too.
Especially if you don't really know what's going on. So I know we were playing and I kind of had a lot of questions on what I could do, but you're being helpful, not controlling. But I feel like if someone really wants to win that scenario, then I think they're gonna be you got to do this.
Yeah.
And go from there.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, I know how I am, and I'll help you with your first couple moves, but then I'm not going to tell you what to do after that.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to be told what to do, right? I might just play the game by myself at that point.
Right.
So yeah, in that game, definitely don't show your hand, and make sure the person who could start controlling the game controls the boss, because the boss actually has a lot going on.
Right.
And then interaction to win, I think, is high. Do you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. I think you definitely need to talk about at least describe what's in your hand to help each other so you could beat the boss, basically.
Right.
Nice. So
Nice.
let's move on to our very last game that we played. So that's Mind Management. Ooh, I love this game, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? This could go like either way with being easy to win or hard to win.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really depends on how well the agent is trying to recruit people and kind of like where their moves are.
We played this like several times, and I feel like it was
Mhm.
pretty even every time we played. Like
Yeah.
there was never like no one blowing anyone out of the water, you know?
Right. So I'm interested to play like the actual game because there's more to it than the online digital version.
Right.
So I'm excited to bring that on Friday.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
I think it's complexity-wise, I think it's actually pretty easy.
Okay, so this is where I'm going to get with the complexity with this game.
Okay.
Okay, so if you've read the comics and you played the game, you know that there's a lot of like hidden messages and stuff to do in this game. So I am currently like trying to go through the box and find like all the hidden stuff, and I got the Kickstarter edition, so I got the deluxe edition.
Okay.
And you unlock more stuff as you play, which adds more components to the game. And actually there's 14 things that you can get added to this game, which will obviously up the complexity of what you can do
Nice.
during the game. So I think like the base game is fairly easy, but as you move along through it, the final game will be pretty complex.
So you're saying we haven't even scratched the surface on how good this game could be.
You are correct, my friend.
Wow, that's actually sad. I actually want to play all of it now because the base game was so good that I
Right.
can only imagine adding little rules will make it even better. So looking forward to that.
Meh.
What about control? Do you think someone could be controlling? So just so everyone knows, Mind Management isn't a complete co-op game. It's like everyone versus one. So it's a hidden movement game, basically. So do you think someone could control the team that's working together?
I don't think so.
I actually do. I actually do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I don't
someone
know.
could start telling people where to go and stuff.
maybe.
So I think it might be a better one-on-one game, but who knows? Maybe it's good with a couple people. Maybe instead of like people talking about their moves before doing them, that would work for me, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
And then interaction to win is high. I think that's like
Yep.
so high. Like you obviously need interaction to win because you're trying to guess where the opponent's going, basically.
Yeah, they have to answer you if you've gone through where they've been.
Right. So it helps for people to memorize what they've already told and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. On that note, what is the best of those games you played? Like in this way, you want to go back and play it. Like of those 5, Aeon's End, Micro Macro, The Loop, Marvel Champions, and Mind Management. Which one do you want to play right now?
There's 2. Mine would be Mind Management and The Loop.
Wow, I was just gonna say The Loop. Hands straight
Yeah.
up. Loop is what I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to beat it.
Yeah. I think Mind Management for me just because I want to get like all the extra stuff in the game.
Yeah, you're a giant comic nerd, so that obviously appeals to you.
Yeah. And then The Loop's just a freaking awesome game. Like, it's so much fun.
Nice. Yeah, The Loop. Oh, people, look, we're not just saying this because it was given to us, okay? We're saying we actually mean it. I 100% mean it. Of those games, The Loop is the best one. Seriously.
Yeah.
Fight me on it on Twitter.
And and we want to thank Pandasaurus again for sending us a copy of The Loop to play and preview on our socials and our podcast. We really appreciate it. Yeah, so if you like what you hear, don't forget to follow us and like us on your favorite streaming platform and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Instagram at Friday Night Games _official, Twitter at Friday Night GMS, TikTok at Friday Night Games, and as always, our website, FridayNight.games. And again, I am John,
I'm Matt.
and it's Friday night, so let's have some fun.
Thanks, everyone.